What a real scam is investing your money into a bank for a terrible interest rate, and they promise and act like it's a bunch, and then they take your money, and then they lend it out and go make more money. What's up, guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. Be sure to like and sub, links are in the video description, and let's get into it. We have some huge news today. First up, Ripple the company launches crypto-enabled enterprise payments in Brazil with Travelex Bank. Remember, back in 2020, Ripple the company was meeting with the Central Bank of Brazil. It seems they've been busy. Ripple, the leading provider of enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions, today announced the launch of RippleNet's on-demand liquidity ODL solution, think XRP, in Brazil with Travelex Bank, which is the first bank in Latin America to utilize on-demand liquidity. Travelex is the first bank registered and approved by the Central Bank of Brazil to operate exclusively in the foreign exchange market, the FX market. By utilizing XRP, blah blah blah, we get the benefits, low-cost settlement. In quotes, Brazil is a key market for Ripple given its importance as an anchor to business in Latin America, its openness to crypto, and countrywide initiatives that promote fintech innovation. We're excited to collaborate with an innovative partner like Travelex Bank to help move money more efficiently for the benefit of its customers across Brazil. And to no surprise, Brazil, one of the BRICS nations, has taken a proactive approach to regulating the cryptocurrency industry. At the same time, crypto adoption throughout Latin America is growing quickly as consumer interest and institutional investment surged in 2021. Over 780 billion payments are sent into Brazil each year. Now, we've heard Ripple the company, after getting regulatory clarity for XRP, plans to IPO and then also become a bank. We have it right here. Travelex Bank is a 100% digital and 100% personal bank. They're the first exclusive foreign exchange bank approved and regulated by the Central Bank of Brazil, focused on EFX transactions, companies of all sizes for the most diverse sectors. So thanks to on-demand liquidity, we have this new bank. Travelex will deliver near-instant settlements and access to liquidity 24/7, 365. Think of the liquidity hub, which directly connects to a bunch of OTC brokers, potentially custodians, DEXs, and even other CeFi exchanges. At launch, Travelex will support payments between Mexico and Brazil. Now we know Bitso's relationship with the company Ripple, along with Everest ID, with plans to support more corridors and use cases. Looks like Travelex wants to be a forward-thinking company that is embracing the benefits of crypto and utilizing its power for real use cases. So Travelex joins the ranks of Ripple's customers, including Banco Rendimento. They actually won an award and they are a Ripple client. And a few other groups right here like Remessa Online, I'm assuming remittance payments. And Ripple actually opened its local office in Brazil in 2019. And don't forget, Ripple was the first enterprise company to leverage crypto to tackle the multi-trillion-dollar challenges with cross-border payments, delivering superior end customer experience, network partnering, liquidity management solutions, lines of credit, which specifically allows you to buy XRP with credit. You can see a picture of Brad Garlinghouse right here as well, just sharing the big news with ODL and XRP in Brazil, along with Mexico. And I also wanted to share this by Anders L. This is an old picture by Bob Way, one of the original Ripple employees, who I believe is still good friends with like David Schwartz and all that. And as we can see, I guess the idea is to start with the smallest payments in the case of on-demand liquidity, and then turn up the volume with lots of them. Liquidity will be able to support larger and larger payments that will transfer through on-demand liquidity until larger bank transfers can be supported. So you start small, develop that liquidity. As that liquidity level grows, the volume increases. What happens then? That means that you can send larger amounts or larger dollar amounts in a single transaction. So you have to build up this volume slow and steady. Anders L goes on to say right here, I really like this, and great point, it should also mean that market makers will start holding much larger amounts of XRP when the transfers get larger, since you only need to hold enough XRP to cover the transfer size. If you guys want to pause the screen and read this post by Bob Way, I'm going to keep moving, but super interesting. And obviously, high-value corridors require more capital. Low-value corridors require less capital. And shout out to Crypto Eddie for sharing this. We have startup Heirloom raised $8 million, led by Ripple Labs and Forte Labs. Now, Forte Labs is huge in the gaming space and built on the XRP ledger. No coding required, public-facing branded storefronts to distribute non-fungible tokens. And this came out just a few days ago. Over $100 million poured into crypto startups this past week as a handful of crypto startups secured funding from prominent VCs in the space. As retail is slowly losing faith and leaving this market altogether, we are seeing venture capitalists and billionaires doubling down. You have the Cosmos platform, you have Injective Labs, you have Ripple with Forte even mentioning decentralized identities, DIDs. And remember this from 2019, Forte and Ripple They formed a $100 million fund for mainstream blockchain games. This is a huge deal announced by Ripple's Spring. It's actually pronounced Spring, not X-Spring, but tomato tomato. So it seems like left and right we just have $100 million funds everywhere, as we can recall the $250 million creator fund that Ripple also developed for NFTs, and I cannot wait for XLS 20 to come. I cannot wait to drop and see how the interface looks. I'm excited to see how on XRP looks, XPunks, XSpectre, all of these projects. Next up, shared by Casper-.io, how much does it cost to mint an NFT on Casper's network? As you can see, roughly 2 cents right here. Now, speaking of DEXs on Hedera going live, the TVL has climbed from 15 million and beyond in a matter of days. Now, the Swappery is another DEX, the first and only cross-chain decentralized exchange on Casper's network, connecting it to BSC or Binance Smart Chain. So the Swappery Casper DEX will go live in approximately 4 days. And to learn more, you can visit this link right here or follow them at the Swappery on Twitter. Also want to emphasize this, the same institutions that said Bitcoin, Ether, every single asset, and crypto are a joke are the same ones today integrating and investing into crypto trading desks, bringing trillions of dollars into this asset class. Of course, we're familiar with huge banks, huge custodians like some of these power players manipulating the game for decades. JP Morgan, $3 trillion assets under management. They've definitely had an effect on the silver market. We have Goldman Sachs. They have a crypto trading desk, $2.5 trillion. Charles Schwab, $8 trillion. Fidelity, $4.5 trillion, also have a crypto trading desk. BlackRock, $10 trillion, arguably one of the biggest. And the companies that are owned by these companies are some of the largest companies in the world. And I'm sure you guys saw that infographic of all the crypto infrastructure that they are investing in. For example, BlackRock connecting with Aladdin and Coinbase for a trading desk directly into Coinbase for institutional clients. This is a fact. In the years ahead, if you have a financial advisor or a family office, they will be offering crypto side by side these other index funds and different options. I remember in 2017, I was so euphoric. I didn't have nearly as much crypto as I have today, but during that 2018 crash, watching your money go so high, really not taking profit like I should, and boom, I felt like I wanted to give up. I had the same feeling in March 2020. What happened after that? A month later of March 2020, when we were in the depths, everybody was telling me give up. One guy messaged me and said, QNT is a scam, get out, get out. I didn't listen. And I think that was partially because of luck, but also because I researched it. I didn't think it was a scam one bit. I listened to the CEO speak, I saw the documents, I saw the interviews, I saw real press releases. I just think you can't let one piece of FUD make you lose sight of everything you've ever researched. For example, if XRP crashed right now to 20 cents, there would be a lot of newcomers that may just panic sell and give up because they saw one headline that scared them. I can tell you with absolute certainty, not financial advice, but for me, I would be buying. I've done years of research. I've seen so many connections I can't even keep track, and the amount of positive information outweighs the negative any day of the week. Do not let negative price action completely change your thesis, unless there's actually true information. So we talked about March 2020, one of the worst crashes in history. And 1 month later, after, when sentiment is lower than ever before, most people left the market, NASDAQ to collaborate with R3 on institutional grade offerings for digital asset exchanges. Now, we just had a huge crash in June. It was terrible. And notice, 2 months later, what happens? BlackRock, the biggest custodian that said crypto's a scam, is now connecting to Coinbase. Now, talking about the foreign exchange market, Travelex, which is approved by the Central Bank of Brazil, we have Anderzel, which has a great point. 90% of the volume in the foreign exchange market is speculative. So, if you have $100 billion of utility, of real live use cases and actual real transfers being used by people or institutions in a single day, you might actually end up with $1 trillion in volume from that $100 billion in utility. Now, there is a study by JP Morgan, I think it was like 2018, maybe 2019. I actually saw it from another YouTuber and I was reading about it. Total market cap for all of crypto was $300 billion, but they actually estimated the actual amount of money that was invested in that to give that $300 billion valuation was roughly $50 billion. So right there, $50 billion to $300 billion, that would have to grow by a factor of 6. In this example, this would have to grow by a factor of 10. Meaning market cap is nothing but the circulating supply multiplied by the current price. It is not real. And if you think crypto is a scam and it's not real, man, you should actually look at the monetary system and understand fractional reserved banking, because once you take that pill, you will not look back. You will realize that money is nothing but an agreement. It's a social construct. It is a complete scam, guys. Money today is a scam. If anything, a more decentralized and transparent solution is what we should be navigating towards, and that's why we're such big believers in crypto. Everyone thinks we're crazy until we're not. Everyone thinks crypto's a scam. Oh man, there's been a hack. There is more money laundering in the US dollar in fiat than there is in digital currency. Digital currency is much easier to track. What a real scam is investing your money into a bank for a terrible interest rate, and they promise and act like it's a bunch, and then they take your money and then they lend it out and go make more money. If you have a bunch of money in the bank and you go and try to withdraw all of it, they won't even have it. That doesn't raise any alarms. We need a revolution. And here's another example, the most active investors in blockchain companies by the top 100 public companies. This is proof. Google's parent company, Alphabet, leads the list of the world's top blockchain-friendly investors. Look at this, Alphabet, we have Fireblocks, that's 1,300 institutions, including Caleb and Brown, iTrustCapital, all linked in the video description. We have some of the biggest exchanges, FTX. We have Circle by BlackRock. Now, who's with Circle? Hedera, Algorand, Stellar, Solana, even Samsung, look at this. Goldman Sachs, surprise, surprise, BNY Mellon with Fireblocks. Retired vice chairman of BNY Mellon is on the board next to the founder of the XRP ledger, Arthur Brito, for PolySign. PayPal, Microsoft, with Consensus, of course, and ETH. You could look at the Hyperledger Foundation. Commonwealth Bank, we got Tencent, which is just gigantic. Immutable, Citi. Wells Fargo, LG, which is also on Hedera's governing council. American Express, another Ripple partner. I mean, even Alphabet right here, they have vested interest. The parent company of Google, look, Digital Currency Group. Digital Currency Group also invested in API 3. So check this out by John E. Deaton actually retweeting a video from Jack the Rippler. So we have the CEO of Standard Chartered Bank, a Ripple partner, discussing central bank digital currencies and XRP. Now John E. Deaton retweets, in 2020, head of assets at Signum, this is a Swiss digital bank by the way, recommended people invest in the digital assets of the future, Bitcoin as a store of value, Ethereum for infrastructure, smart contracts, and XRP for payments. I believe all of them have a place. And if you think it's only going to be ETH, or you only think it's going to be Hedera, or some other layer 1, or Solana, or maybe even a layer 0, I believe it's incredibly difficult to pick the one and only asset, hence why I hold several. I believe, just like Sam Bankman-Fried, the future will be multi-chain. He's even said in interviews, he believes there's going to be maybe a couple dozen, maybe 12, maybe 36 primary chains or layer 1s, or main networks that are used for the future of not even finance, but everything. Data, NFTs, logistics and supply chain, digital identity, trade finance, you name it. As Johnny Deaton says, all three will be standing in 5 years. I agree. Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP will still be here 5 years from now. How many other tokens can say that? Exactly. And the XRP ledger is just over 10 years old now. I always laugh when a new project comes and it has like 1 million transactions per second, and it's extremely centralized, and there's so many other trade-offs, but somebody just sees the high number and they think it's automatically better than HBAR or XRP or anything. No. If you have time, read this thread by Crypto Girl Nova. One of the most significantly misunderstood concepts in the blockchain space is TPS, transactions per second. Breaking this down, this is like one of the best threads I've seen. Now check out this price chart shared by Credible Crypto. What a great catch. So you can see the RSI, the relative strength index down here. Every time we have hit 40, we've gotten that bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Crazy confluence. And of course, this will not last forever, but very good catch. Also, by the tokenizers, we got QNT, DAG, LCX, Alliance Block, HBAR, XRP, XDC. It is crazy how our world relies on siloed data types, Nostra Vostra accounts, intermediaries, and middlemen for every single process. Low global liquidity and funding, unfair market opportunities, absolutely. It leads to heavy centralization, corruption by lack of transparency. And all of this can change with DLT. Well, if DLT is so great, why are banks and all these huge institutions so slow to really welcome it? It's because it destroys all of their profit mechanisms today. It threatens everything they know. They cannot fight it forever, so what are they doing? Well, as you saw, some of the biggest lists, some of the biggest banks, BNY, we have Goldman Sachs, you have Wells Fargo, huge organizations. If they can't beat us, they're going to join us. But guess what they're going to do? They're going to try to own all of the infrastructure, all of the exchanges, and maybe also coerce and lobby regulators. Also by Songbird, so we know that Flare, I believe, is still in that 8-week observation period. We are getting close for Flare Networks to officially launch. Now what's interesting is that we've had over 40 million transactions on the Songbird network. This is the testnet or test network, also known as the Canary Network for Flare Networks. And if you did see the latest interview of Thinking Crypto, highly recommend it. Discussing Songbird, that actually just launched in September 2021. Over 40 million transactions already. They have over 143 FTSOs. So when we get close to Flare's launch, they're going to activate the F assets on Songbird first as a test. Same for Layer Cake, testnet first, and then they go to the main net, which is Flare. So last I heard, and in that interview, it seemed like observation mode would actually be around September 5th, or maybe a little later, as soon as the foundation controls less than 33% of validation power after this date. And Flare Networks, this is a huge endeavor. This is the largest token distribution in history. They announced a new metaverse partner, Metropolis World, and the roadmap for end of year for Flare Networks includes the token distribution, and I'm hoping that exchanges will finally send us some Songbird. I'm still waiting for my Songbird on some platforms. A governance proposal coming soon, I know that's going to be huge. And as soon as Flare launches, developers can build applications to other blockchains immediately. So there's going to be bridges and layer cake, so there's going to be bridges for assets as well as smart contracts that can connect to other blockchains. So if you have a smart contract on Algorand, you can bridge that to another blockchain and actually apply it there, from what I understand. Also, a lot of excitement about Pangolin, or the ticker PNG. This is a decentralized exchange. It was originally on Avalanche, or the AVAX blockchain, had over 16 billion in volume over the past 1.5 years. But now, Pangolin is coming and launching on Songbird and Flare. So Pangolin is multi-chain by default, and it was originally a fork of Uniswap. So, my thoughts on Pangolin and PNG is it could be potentially huge if Flare Networks is successful, if Flare connects to a lot of these other chains, Litecoin, Algo, XRP, you name it. Because then Pangolin could be a competitor to centralized exchanges and other DEXs. But alright guys, that is enough out of me. I have my Linktree linked in the top of the YouTube video description, along with my Twitter and Instagram bio. We have my official website, kevincageofficial.com, a blog, different resources, and a variety of discount codes, including YubiKey. Be sure to like and sub, and I'll catch you in the next one.